So I spend most of my time just sitting on a computer working all day long. I wanted to do something that was creative, yet that didn't have to do anything with technology, because I spent a lot of time with cameras and computers. The idea of golf wasn't anywhere in my universe at that point. However, because of this, it got me into golf. At that point, I was living at my parents' house. I was very fortunate they have a big area that I kind of just took over. Now, things have changed a little bit, and some things have been moved around. But this was my painting area, right here. As you see, the speckles of paint all over the floor, right here. Oh yeah, look at all of that splatter all over the place. Yeah, and I dropped a can of paint right there by accident one day. So I kind of wanted to talk about the difference between a hobby and a profession as an artist. Because over a period of about 4 years, I made several hundred different paintings. Oh God. Literally, I haven't been in here for years. Jesus. Look at those cobwebs. Oh God. You see, I would paint on wood, tires, canvas, painting after painting after painting. Started this originally as a hobby because I just needed a creative outlet. I wanted to still stay creative, yet I didn't want to have to worry about money. I didn't have to worry about work. I just wanted to produce something that was not with technology. Now on the flip side of that, my mother is a professional painter. I started to want to get my paintings out there. I had produced so much art that I was like, it's all sitting here in my house. I want to get more people to see it. I started to promote it. I started to market it. I started to sell some paintings also. And unfortunately, that's when all the trouble started. It was never about the money when I started it. It was literally just an escape. I didn't mind spending the money on supplies and canvas and paint and all of that to make these pieces of art, because to me, it was a release. It was an ability to actually get out of there and not have to think about work. But I could still flex my kind of creative, artistic muscles by creating that art. And it gave me tremendous pleasure. I would blast music and just absolutely enjoy what I was doing. On the flip side, once I started selling these pieces, it got too overly significant. I was like, I need to make the videos, I need to do the social media, I need to have a name, I need to have a brand, I need to start a bank account. I got completely overwhelmed. So then I had to realize, what's the difference between a hobby and a profession when it comes to art? It's only one thing. It's what is the final product that you're trying to go for? When you're creating all of this art, are you trying to sell it? Or are you just trying to make it for yourself as a fun release? Are you worrying about the cost of it all because you need to make sure you have profit in it? Or are you taking your discretionary funds and using it because you know this is for you? This isn't for anybody else. It's totally fine if your hobby does become a profession, or your profession becomes a hobby, or your hobby stays a hobby, or your profession stays a profession. All of it is totally fine. Art is just art. But you do need to know who and what are you doing this for. I can't believe I'm gonna actually show you this, but this is actually where it all started. It was just, again, me wanting to paint. I painted on cardboard because that was all I had, and I was trying to keep it as cheap as possible. This is Home Depot paint. This is just basic Home Depot paint that's in the test jars for 50 cents a pop. And this is one of my first paintings that I ever did. Yeah, it looks just like splatter on a piece of cardboard, but there's something unique and special about it for me. I went from making fun first pieces of art like that to making more intricate pieces like this. I expanded that knowledge and still painting on cardboard, but the frame itself, so it's ready to frame, no glass. I have the whole explanation of, you know, I can do the gallery thing. This is ready to go to galleries, and I wanted it to go to galleries. I wanted to help build a whole series, and that's where I got so much into the profession of it. Like, oh, this is another business I have to start. Oh my God, that's a lot. And it got overwhelming for me. That was why at the end of the day I ended up just stepping away from it, because it was actually just too much to start another career as an artist. I was already a photographer, I was already a filmmaker, and I didn't need to do or want to do another career and start from the bottom doing that. What's up, June bugs? Wanna go outside? So unfortunately, I stopped entirely. I stopped painting, I stopped creating on any of that because I let the profession overwhelm the hobby. I let the profession overwhelm the urge just to create art. So if you're in a similar position and you're creating art as a hobby, don't get overwhelmed. Don't worry about trying to make it a profession if you don't want to make it a profession. If you do, fantastic. But if you don't, and you're okay with it being a hobby, make the art, share it. Who knows? The more you share it, you might actually make some money on it. But if you don't worry about that as the goal, that's totally fine. But if it is a profession, then work your ass off to make sure it actually becomes a profession. You actually get paid to do it. Like I said, I got into golf because it was the next hobby. It allowed me to get out of the house. It gave me a similar feeling to creating paintings. And the nice thing with golf is I'm not worried about going to the PGA Tour or becoming a professional at golf. I do it just because I like to get outside for an hour or so. But with paintings, man, it'd be cool to make it a profession one day. But at this point, I'm not worried about it. All I can tell you is that you need to go out and go create some art. Whether you're gonna want to get paid for it or not, go out, create some art. Because at the end of the day, it is so much fun. And who cares? Get paid for it, not, it's a profession, not. The world needs more artists. Go make some art.